Welcome to the Bourbon Life Podcast, your source for all things bourbon. Join your hosts, Mark and Matt, as they drink and review bourbons, share news about upcoming events, interview the who's who in the bourbon world, and, most importantly, bring you along for the fun of living the bourbon life. Now, here's your hosts, Mark and Matt.
All right, everybody, welcome back for another episode of the Bourbon Life Podcast. I'm your host, Mark, and with me here tonight, live around the flights of the, what do we call this table?
The crowded table tonight.
The flights of the round table.
You better get it right.
I will. It's the Bourbon Life Crew. We've got Stacey.
What's up?
We've got Matt.
Hey, Mark, how you doing?
I'm overwhelmed at this moment, but, you know, I'm doing good. And we got Chad here as well.
I've got a knife.
Chad's got a knife. He's going to cut ya. Yeah. What a fun little kickoff here, right?
Yeah. First off, we got to say, Phillip, we're missing you.
Yeah.
We do
Do we
miss
have
Phillip.
to say that?
Well, we don't have to. We can lie and
I
say,
want to.
I miss Phillip.
Yeah, I miss Phillip too. So sorry, Phillip.
When I sit over there, I don't have to look at you. So
I know that's the thing. I was like,
Same.
how are we going to do this?
The best thing I've ever seen on the outside of the table is a man's, which is sad to say. So.
Well, I'm going to spin the camera around, my camera around, just to kind of point out a little bit. There have been a few boxes that have been delivered
just a few
over the last couple of months here at the Bourbon Life, and
13.
And I unfortunately, some of them go back last year. Unfortunately, I just have been a little remiss at opening and tasting and
So
sharing.
he invited us over to open all of his mail.
Yeah, they got
So-
rid of. There's the box. Some of the boxes anyway over there, so you can see. There's
Matt's got a
collection.
pile over here too.
Matt has a pile of
There's
boxes.
a pile upstairs. Anita's going to love the mess I left her.
When she gets home, she's gonna be like, "What happened in my kitchen?"
She's going to kick me out.
But we got a lot of
But
great
you have
whiskeys.
cats. Cats.
Yeah,
love
the
boxes.
cats
Cats,
sit.
Yeah,
cats will
and your
love-
cats are the type that would love to be in a
You just
box.
ordered a bunch of cat toys.
I did,
Yep.
exactly right. So
Yep.
I'm going to save those for the cats. But we got a lot of great whiskey. So we chose 3 to drink tonight,
It was
correct?
very difficult.
Oh, I should say we are the Bourbon Life Podcast presented by, well, no, we're not presented by anybody yet, but that's okay. But we do have a good time doing the show, and we love all of our sponsors that we do have. So thank you to all of our sponsors. Thank you to all the whiskey brands that send us whiskey.
Yeah,
and again,
thanks.
have to apologize to some brands for not being quite up to speed on sharing what they've sent. So my apologies. Unfortunately,
That's okay. A once a month crew episode to catch up.
catch up on what we,
If anything,
Open Mark's mail.
yeah,
is fine.
yeah,
It's like Blue's Clues.
yeah, there you
It's a
go.
mail call.
Yeah,
It's like
mail
7.
call.
What's in the box?
There you go. Well, that would work. So, all right, guys. Matt, you chose the first one that we're going to drink tonight. So what do you have for us down there?
Yeah, we are headed out to Nevada for this one. We've got a nice little package from our friends Colby and Ashley Frey at Frey Ranch Distilling. This is their Farmers and Distillers single grain series. So I'm not going to embarrass Mark with how long ago this was sent to him.
Colby and Ashley, I'm so sorry. I apologize, guys. They did send us other bottles with it too, right? So we've got
It probably also came out at the same time.
their straight bourbon whiskey, and I thought, is there another one or was that it?
Just
No,
two.
there's
Just
two.
two.
Okay. Oh, and they
Just
sent
two
us,
and a nice Glencairn.
they did send us a beautiful Glencairn as well. So thank you to Ashley
Yep.
and Colby and their marketing team for remembering us and including us. Sorry, Matt. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, so single grain series here, and this one is 100% wheat whiskey. So this is distilled, matured, and bottled at the Frey Ranch Distillery, Fallon, Nevada. So we can only know that this has had a lot of time and quality put into it because it was probably all done, most literally grain to glass by Colby and family and company out on their farm in Fallon, Nevada. So 100 proof, 50% ABV, 6 years, 6 months. And the mash bill again, 100% soft white winter wheat grown at Frey Ranch.
Yeah, and their story is really cool, man, because their family, Colby's family, had been in farming since what, the late 1800s, Matt? Was that the story?
He's
Something like a
fifth or sixth generation. And
Yeah, and decided that he needed to switch gears. Farming wasn't going to pay all the bills continually, so he's self-taught for the most part, right? I mean, he really just kind of dove. I mean, I'm sure he's had help along the way, but
yeah, I think he's one of the first like real success stories to go the route of reaching out to other avenues. Like I think he said he took like classes at Moonshine University,
I think he did. Yeah.
but also reached out to a lot of different people and sort of piecemealed together his education, experience, equipment, whole operation to where he's at now. And
yeah, we had them on the show. It's been a while, and that was our first.
That was season 1, right? Like the very first
I think
year?
it
Or
was
second
because
year?
we had from
Johnny
Family
Jeffries.
Jones. or was it Family Jones?
We had Johnny Jeffrey from
Mike Jones?
I can't remember what.
Another place out in Nevada as well.
Yeah, and he sent us because they didn't have.
And he got us. Yeah, they didn't have anything
sent
ready
us a
yet.
sample of Frey Ranch. It's like, you guys need to try this.
Yeah.
And we tried the rye. Was it the rye or no?
I
think it
I
was
think it
the-
was
I think it
right.
was
That
the
was
rye.
one of their first things that they put out.
Because we were both like, holy crap, we got to
Yeah.
get these guys on the show. So we did, and then we actually picked that barrel
Yep.
of Frey Ranch.
Yeah.
That was the second. That was the next
Family
year, right?
Jones. That was Rob Jeffries,
Rob Jeffries, I think.
that
was
right?
that? Yeah,
Johnny
You
Jeffries.
guys keep all
I think
that.
so.
My
I'll have to
brain
go back.
looks
I'll
like
go back
this
and look at
table
the list. But,
constantly.
but
Yeah.
regardless,
Easy.
he introduced us. Yeah, one of our guests actually from Nevada, because he was doing a state distilling as well out
Yeah.
in Nevada, which is a classification from their state legislature. I think that you have to meet certain requirements to be a state distillery out there. So he introduced us to the brand, and then we got hooked up with Colby and Ashley, and yeah, they've been great, man. So anyway, sorry.
Mark, what are you getting on the nose?
Oh, I haven't know it. Chad, you just know I haven't.
Yeah. So I've been nosing the hell out of this thing. I get a ton.
That's what she said.
That's weird, Mike.
I don't know what that meant.
I don't get
Anyway.
that one. That was
Yeah.
lost.
It did-
okay.
it
Yeah,
did hit.
that didn't land. I mean, the ton like vanilla, like marshmallow, whipped sugars, almost like taffy, a little bit of strawberry, good like toasty wheat bread. There's not much grain. There's just a touch of wheat grain on there. So for it to be 100% wheat and 6.5, what'd you say?
6. Yeah.
6.5 years old and not just really just smell like honeyed grain is awesome. There is a little bit of honey to it. Very light spice on the nose, a little bit of like nutmeg, cinnamon, just like quintessential baking spices, but it's very pleasant nose. I enjoy it. And what's proof? 100 proof?
100.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100 proof.
Yeah, I like the nose.
Yeah, I'm picking up that strawberry. I get my little bazooka bubblegum thing or Topps trading card thing. I get a sweetness off of it, and it's coming across almost like a bubblegum type of an aroma to me, that sweetness that comes through, but the strawberry comes through as well, that little touch of honey that you talked about. Chad, 100 proof, man, it's easy to nose. I mean, it's not, it's not overwhelming. Not a lot of grain, like you said. So, yeah, I kind of like it. What about you, Stacey?
I agree. I always enjoy when I pick up 100% wheater when it doesn't smell like straight cereal. So
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
hats off to you guys,
Frosty
Frey Ranch.
Flakes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not straight Frosted Flakes, which not to say that Frosted Flakes smell bad,
That's bad, right?
but
right. But
this is nice. It's a well-rounded nose.
it's not just one dimensional.
correct.
Yeah, Matt, what about you, man?
I agree with that. I think it doesn't, excuse me, it doesn't present a lot of malted notes on the nose, which I
Yeah.
think in a single grain can sometimes go a little bit too far in driving things one direction, one dimensional. To me, it's got just a really fresh nose. It's just like something about it is just like mountain winter air, just like all the freshness of being outdoors. It really reminds me kind of their terroir, just of the whole like farm grain of glass thing. There's nice vanilla, it's wheat, it just like kind of smells like the outdoors in sort of like all the best ways possible.
So, question on this, because it's 100% wheat. Is it all malted wheat, or is it like 95 wheat, 5 malted wheat, or
100% wheat, so I'm going to guess they're probably using some sort of
enzymes
enzyme
yeah.
to
to do
drive
that?
the
Yeah.
fermentation.
Okay, so they're
be
using
my
100% wheat, but probably adding the enzyme to get that Very cool. I like that, man. Very nice. So, guys, what do you want to talk about? There's been some news lately.
There has been some news. I mean, do
yeah.
you want to start with good news, or do you want to start with like Debbie Downer news?
Well, we can start with Debbie Downer news, and then we can pick it up in a positive note.
That's
and,
true.
And talk some more stuff. But
Yeah, go ahead and wah, wah.
yeah, well, I mean, we've been talking about, the slowdowns that are coming. People are talking about, it's the end of the world and the sky is falling. And I've been a big advocate
Cloudy with a
of-
chance of meatballs.
of saying, yeah, you know what? I mean, we're post-COVID, so we're going to see that reduction, but we're still continuing to grow. I saw a graph the other day that showed that, literally, that whiskey consumption spiked so high during COVID. It's come back down, but over the last 10 years, it's still continuing on a upward.
It's at the same pace of growth as it was pre-pandemic in 2018 and 19.
Yeah.
It's slowed down, which I've said this on every episode we've had in the last 6 months.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But it's slowed down from the COVID spike, which I'm glad people are now recognizing that. But it is not slowed down as far as growth.
Yeah. But then we get the news that Green River this week or last week laid off, 30% of their staff?
27 people.
Yeah.
So
Which is kind of, that's a big number of people for for
It
that
is.
distillery. I mean, that's a huge
and
number.
So from what I've heard is it's part of their contracting team, their distillation team. And I've got a quote from someone, but I'm not going to share it because I don't know if I could put that on the record or not. But it's wild to think that a distillery who Bardstown Bourbon Company is pretty much pimped out as their contracting distillery, even though BBC is a contracting company.
Yeah.
They've pimped out Green River as that for new clients, is now cutting 27 to 30 people to not contract distillate.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so I just wonder, in the grand scheme, I mean, is that a reflection though then of the decreasing demand of products, or is it just a slower growth of other brands?
I think it's a decrease in the invest bro market. Like I think it's the guys who got in who were trying to run it like the stock market, and now they're losing money hand over fist. And I think that the distilleries are like, oh, okay, we can't charge $5,000 for a 2-year-old barrel. We got to charge $1,800 for a 2-year-old barrel, and it's not worth our time and money to mess with these guys.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
I think that makes sense.
yeah. Matt, what do you think, man?
I'd be curious to see what the demand is for new make product right now, because there's certainly a demand for Green River 4 to 6-year-old product. And so, and they have a supply of it. So Green River has a good supply of that. We're seeing it emerging in different brands right now. It can be bought, it's available. So I'm wondering if they are looking at that and saying, okay, we've sort of hit our sweet spot for what people want. Do we need the team to be producing right now? What are our new make contracts looking like?
Yeah.
And it's very unfortunate to say, but maybe they had their operation up and running enough to keep up with this demand that people have for their 4 to 6 year product or even 2-year product. And they realized, well, future contracts, and we think there's going to be a slowdown. So why are we staffing for the production of what people want in aged whiskey for new make whiskey?
Yeah, that makes sense. So do you think then we're gonna see the slow decline or quick decline of new brands popping up?
I don't
I don't think so.
necessarily think so.
There's still enough whiskey out on the market. There's no shortage of it. I mean, Diageo put a thing out the other day saying like, hey, where's our distillery at that's not Bullet, Lebanon, Kentucky? And they're like, hey, we're going to stop distilling for like 2 to 3 months because we've met our needs. And it's like, that's not news. That's just kind of what happens. Like,
right.
Buffalo Trace, Heaven Hill, all these distilleries, they do a shutdown for a few months a year for like a quarter to clean and flush their systems, get their fermentation tanks, squared away, all that kind of stuff. But there's enough aged whiskey on the market right now, and there's never a shortage of aged whiskey. There's a shortage of people who are willing to pay for aged whiskey.
Yeah.
But now it's so cheap, it's easy to have access to. In 5 years, we'll probably see the same thing again, where it's more expensive than what it's worth, yada, yada, yada.
So on that note, with everything barrel prices being more affordable, do we think we're going to see an uptick in people trying to start?
I don't know. I mean, because I think that was going to be my next question. Is that a reflection? I mean, we've talked about consumption is still going up. Is the demand still there for new brands to come out? I mean, is it there? I don't know. I've not researched it enough to see, but
Depends. I think it depends on the story you have to sell. I mean, like, there's no shortage of people with money who are willing to buy and invest in whiskey. I just think it depends on how you sell your brand.
Yeah.
If you want to create Rucker Reserve, what's your story? How are you going to sell it? Your 4-year Green River or BBC or Barton can
I'm
be the
going to
same as
go
all
to Jim
three of us.
Beam and ask Jim Beam to release that for me, please. The record.
I agree with
Godspeed, bro.
with Chad on this one. Actually, this was a shower thought of mine just a few days ago.
You don't have to go
We don't want to.
Was,
Yeah,
I'm glad you thought of us, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking of Chad
guys in the shower.
thinking of Chad in the shower.
Yeah.
But I think we're getting to a point where brands really have to sell themselves more. It's not just slap a label on a nice looking bottle.
Yeah.
Name it after a horse, an old person, or like a feeling of lore, some sentiment, and like 2 really nice adjectives together, and expect it to sell for $79.
Yeah.
I think now companies are really going to have to reach out to their consumers more. They're going to have to provide more of a story, more of a reason behind why not only they exist as a company, but why us as consumers should believe in their company, should buy their product not just once but twice, right? It's all well and good to get your product out on the shelf one time, but your depletion reports are really what matters to a company. How quickly is a store going through it? How quickly are your accounts going through and depleting that supply and reordering?
Something I was thinking about, because you mentioned name it after a horse. I mean, we had Never Say Die on, and initially when I heard the story, I was like, oh, that's a lot of story to go with a brand, and it's like, where's the connection? But then we had them on the show, and I'm like, you could see, I mean, the passion and the enthusiasm and the dedication and the drive to make the brand, you know, to really sell it and to let people know that they're committed to it and dedicated to it. So, and it wasn't that I had a bad impression. It was just like, no, here's a bourbon with a story that's kind of wild. It's a little bit off the beaten path, but it's a unique story and it's a fun story. But then I'm like, you know, going deeper on that, is there any more depth to it beyond this story? And then we had Brian on the show, and I was like, damn, I mean, this guy.
Yeah, I love the story. I thought that was one of the best, especially with how well spoken he is. I thought it was one of the best like tellings of the brand I've heard in a long time.
Yeah, I think he did a great job, and that even sold me more because I saw him at the Bourbon Con and got to hear him talk, and I was like, oh man, this guy's legit. I mean, he knows his stuff. He's obviously really focused on this and what he's doing, and you know, seems like he's doing a really good job with it. And to get him on the show and talk to him, so yeah, I mean, I think, you know, they're making that connection, or they're working to make that connection. I mean, they're not a big brand by any stretch of the imagination. They're doing something unique, obviously, taking barrels to England. You know, does it make a big impact? I don't know, but it's still something different and unique. But still, I think looking beyond the story and the things on the surface, you look at the people, and, you know, Brian is a great example of that, and at least in my opinion, just to use him as an example because he was one of the most recent guests that we had. So, but I think you're right, man. I mean, I think there are some stories out there, and, you know, you can't just sell a bottle, I think, saying, oh, here's a story. You know, we named it after this, or we named it after this, or I'm a celebrity, here's my bourbon. You know, there's got to be more. There's got to be more to it, and I think consumers in the bourbon market have probably become more discerning. I think during pandemic time, people were like, ooh, it's a new bourbon, and ooh, so-and-so has got their name on it, and it's like, ooh, I'll give it a try. But I think now we're at that point, at least I feel like it. Maybe it's just me, but I'm like
fatigued.
Yeah, I'm like, man, am I really going to spend that money? I mean, is it worth it to me? So I think I'm really starting to look more at the brands that I feel like they're committed and they're really doing the best that they could do versus just, you know, a couple guys throwing some money at something to be like, oh, we're going to make $1 billion in this industry and sell it off to some big distillery. That makes sense?
Yep.
Yeah, I think we're all a little like once bit, twice shy by the celebrity endorsement or like weird gimmick. I think we've all seen it. We've all fallen for it.
Yeah.
I think everyone's a little leery of going that route again. And so I think what brands really need to do now to push themselves is get outside of the branding, reach into marketing. How do you know, we're lucky, Mark, we have people on that we can help tell their story.
Sure.
And this is a great service. It's always good to hear from the people making the product about their product. But for consumers that don't listen to podcasts, don't tune in this way, how do you attract that person from the shelf? Right. Without just like gaudy labels or whatever that someone may see once and then just look over or fall for one time. And I think it's going to turn into marketing. It's going to be, how can that story resonate? What is this brand doing differently from every other brand? Why should we be giving you a shot and then a second shot?
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's good. I mean, I like to see the competition in the market, and I like to see new brands. I like to see people doing different things. I think it only helps us as consumers. You know, hopefully we'll see prices come down. I think we've seen that a little bit. Hopefully we'll continue to see that, not to the detriment of the distilleries, but I think we'll continue to see that, I hope. But I think, I mean, after seeing that graph the other day, I was like, damn, I mean, I just never thought that was the case.
Well, that's because they project are the negatives, like,
I agree.
the bourbon bust or whatever is here, like it's all over.
Everyone wanted to be the first to report on that.
I agree on that. That was the thing. Everybody wanted to be the first influencer or media person to break the story, and here's why the bourbon was first.
You know, I always joke about it like being like the housing market of like, well, this is how it is in 2008. You can buy a mansion for $100,000 and, you know, blah, 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 blah. It's like, no, it's not how it is. It's a blip in the timeline of shit.
Right.
But the problem with it is the publication, you know, people took it as gospel of like, this one guy, he must be an expert because he said it out loud. And it's like, well, you know, that doesn't make you an expert. But also he quoted one person in that story. He quoted one person from a small craft distillery who's like, well, no one's buying my whiskey. I don't know. You know, I don't want to say it was, you know, bad. I don't know. I can't remember the distillery. I've never had their whiskey. I don't want to say it's bad or terrible, but it's hard to quote
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you can't just
you
quote
can't
one
predict
source.
an entire
person
industry off
whose
of-
oldest stuff is 2 years old that they made in a bathtub still, and say like, well, this is the story of the entire industry. I mean,
Yeah.
that'd be like the automotive
Right.
market in like the 40s and 50s, and being like, well, okay, it's an uptick, and it's just going to go up from here because like Chevy is really investing a ton of money in this, and Ford's going to go belly up.
Right.
No, it's not how it works.
Yeah. Yeah.
Agreed.
Good point. So the information about Green River, yes, I mean, I hate to see that happening to people.
Yeah,
but at the same
absolutely.
time, it may not be.
I feel like it's temporary.
Yeah, it's not the damning, end all be all. Like, oh my God, it's over. Because I mean, Pritzker, owning them. I mean, private equity. Yes, they're in it to make money, but at the same time, Bardstown Bourbon is there to make great products and do great
They're there to do
collaborations.
the most they can with the fewest amount of people possible. And I said this not one episode where
Yeah, I mean,
me
yeah.
and Matt, it's people are numbers on a spreadsheet, and I hate it, and it makes me upset. But
Yep.
they will at some point. There is that balancing act of you got to realize, hey, we're not. These people are quitting, or our turnover rate's so high. We're not profiting as much as we want to, no matter how many people we fire.
Yeah.
We need to hire more people to get shit done, and then it's going to go back to oh, Green River expands 30%.
Right, and I wouldn't be surprised in a few years if we hear that,
Yeah,
we see that,
right.
right? So I don't think it's the telltale sign of the beginning of the end of the bourbon industry.
No.
Like I
No.
think some people would like to. I mean, I hate to say that they would like to see that. I think they just wanted to break the news and be the
People
be the
like
person.
the clickbait. That's all that it boils down to.
That is a good point. Speaking of clickbait, let's jump back to this whiskey. I don't know what that means, but anyway.
There's your mom joke in there somewhere.
Matt, I'm going to throw it to you, man.
Yeah.
Since you kicked us off with it. Did you just take your Z-Biotic, by the way, after drinking?
No.
He's licking the bottom.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
like,
getting the last little bit, getting the ship.
speaking of what
out of the bottle.
Z-Biotics,
Yeah,
I
thanks, Z-Biotics.
I subscribe and swear
I don't know where I
to
put mine at, but
buy those guys, man. So
great.
I will definitely do it, even for just 2 or 3 drinks. I mean, I'll
Oh, yeah.
still, as old as I am now, it's like I feel the effects in the
Hey,
morning.
he made the first old joke, guys.
That's okay. I
right.
mean, I admit it.
Chum in the water there.
Yeah,
He put
but I
it,
saw
he
you do
threw it
that,
out there.
and I'm like, Matt, you drank that Glenmorangie before we started. Then you just had that single.
No. I did it in the correct order of operations here. Parentheses exponents.
I don't want you ending up in the back seat of the car.
Multiplication
asleep
division.
again,
first
okay?
hour
So-
is like the foil method. So
Anyway, Matt, what do you get
Yeah.
on the palate and finish on this?
Well, first I want to say I sounded like really pessimistic about the market and about new brands, and that's
Gosh,
not.
Matt.
I couldn't be further from it. I think that the amount of new brands and newer products that are coming out, and the quality of these new products is amazing. It truly is. Rising tides are raise all ships in this one, and I think
That's a great quote. I love it.
I think it really is the truth right now. There's not a lot of room for weird under quality product on the shelf, and
Yeah.
so everything that's being put out, all the brands that are being conceived, I think are really well thought of, and it really is driving the industry up, and it's great to see. But this whiskey,
That was well
Back-
said.
Well said, Matt. Good.
golf clap.
but the whiskey, Matt.
Yes,
Yeah, shut up and tell us about the whiskey.
it's warmer than I thought
Yeah.
on the nose.
Yeah.
I thought the nose was really like soft, fresh, and kind of
Super
almost
inviting.
like subdued, and then you take a sip, and it's kind of like, whoo,
It's like your ex-wife smacking you in the face. Oh wait,
sweetie.
maybe that's just me. Just,
I don't have an ex-wife, but I have an ex-husband. So
there you go.
yeah.
Lots of the cherry comes through with this one. Some of those like wheat bread, the bready notes, kind of the like fried dough or toast aromas on there. A little bit of like a Marcona almond, or I don't want to say like marzipan, but there is sort of like an almond or vanilla kind of toasted note near the end.
Marzipan.
Where's your ascot?
Yeah, put your ascot back in, Mark.
But really good. 6 years, 6 months. I think there's a lot of barrel influence on this one as well.
Yeah.
It's a nice balance between distillate and barrel.
Yeah. Stace, what about you?
I also got a lot of cherry notes on this one, but it came across as like cherry cola to me almost.
Yeah.
Didn't match what I necessarily got on the nose. Not that I don't like it, but the nose was like really crisp, bright, light, and the palate was a lot more spice forward than I was expecting.
Yeah.
So, but I like it. I think that it's pretty well rounded for
Maybe-
100% wheat.
Maybe more of the barrel influence making that.
Agreed,
That
yes.
spiciness. Chad, what about you? What do you pick up?
It's funny they call it cherry. I got a lot of red fruit, but it had like these really nice cream soda vibes. Like
Yes,
it's super
like a-
creamy,
like-
vanilla-y, a little butterscotchy. Like it had the oak for me was kind of like, when you get this vintage cola, it's more oak extract than like oak. Not saying it has like flavors or anything. It's just like that intensity of it. but very like cola-esque. The cream soda note was super nice. A lot of vanilla. That also kind of reminded me of like you go to a Chinese restaurant, those fried donuts with the powdered sugar on them.
Oh yeah.
That I think it's very pleasant. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I like the combination of that spice. There's a spiciness to it, right?
Yeah.
Which surprised me, but then there's just such underlying sweetness that like pervades to me like the whole palate. So I get this whole combination at the same time. There's spice, but then there's sweet, almost like a sugary sweetness, like super sweet to me. And the finish, it just continues to go and go and go. So drinks warmer than 100 proof.
Yeah, I was gonna say I wouldn't have pegged this at 100.
On the palate, no, would not say 100, but I really like this, man. And
I do too.
I could drink this one all day.
Yeah.
I think it delivers a lot more on the palate than on the nose.
Yep,
in the
I
best
agree.
surprising way.
Yeah, the nose was good, but the palate was great.
Yeah,
I agree.
It's very like after tasting it, it's like the nose kind of a little underwhelming, but it's a good surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I
So
agree.
hats off again to
Yeah,
Col-
good job,
Colby
Frey
and
Ranch. That's
Ashley,
really
yeah,
good.
for putting out another great product. I mean, it's amazing. I'm blown away by what they've been able to achieve and what they do. So
Do we know what the price point is on this one?
You know what? I don't know if it's on that card.
Doubt it.
I'm not
Not
sure.
on the card.
Yeah. So
I think it's really good though.
Yeah.
Solid product.
I agree. All right, kids, why don't we take a quick break? We're at the end of round one, and we'll figure out what we're going to drink next. And we'll get a word from our sponsors, and we'll come back with more with the Bourbon Life Crew in just a minute.
Three Chords line of whiskeys embody the spirit of creativity. The whiskey is a true collaboration between producer and composer Neil Giraldo and master blender distiller Ari Sussman. The Three Chord team of expert blenders, coopers, and sensory professionals have developed a multi-step process they call Perfectly Tuned Taste. This process begins by carefully selecting the finest bourbon and rye whiskeys from Kentucky, Tennessee, and Indiana, and then blending them together. Find out more about the whiskeys and distribution in your area at www.threechordbourbon.com.
All right, everybody, welcome back for round two of the Bourbon Life Podcast. I'm your host, Mark, and with me here tonight live, finally, a live podcast with the Bourbon Life Crew. It's my good friend, Chad.
Hey, what's up? I put the knife down.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
And Stacey.
Hello.
Hello. And Matt.
Hey, crew. What's up, all?
Happy to
Hello.
be back.
I'm glad that the knife has been put down. That's what alcohol does to Chad.
But you had scissors. Matt had a knife. Matt had the big Matt. You know, Matt
Where
didn't
did my
come.
scissors go?
Matt didn't come down with the little knife. Matt brought the
He
whole
brought the
big.
machete.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he came compensating.
Yeah.
You don't bring a mule to the Kentucky Derby.
that.
That's not a knife. That's a knife, right?
This is a knife.
There you go, for sure. Well, we're having a good time. Thank you to everybody for listening. Thank you to our sponsors. We appreciate them. We're just going through some bottles tonight that have been shipped and sent to us. We're not going to get, obviously, to all.
I hope not.
It's a 24-hour marathon, everybody.
That's right. It's going to be like the Jerry Lewis
Like
telethon.
telethons, yeah.
We're going to go
We can
live.
take turns napping.
We're going to go live and let people just call in and, ask questions.
Call now, 1-888-BOURBON-LIFE to donate your money.
And send us money. That's the thing. We're going to do
Guys,
a PayPal.
this isn't a terrible idea.
It's not a bad idea, right? To help us buy more bourbon. Yeah.
So far, I've looked at a lot of bourbon you haven't bought, so.
I'm appreciative. Thank you to all the brands out there who continue to send us their wonderful products. We enjoy them, and
Yes, thank you.
We will try to work our way through the products that you send us.
We will review every bottle on this table.
personally.
Yeah, you could pimp out the bottles to us and we could take turns making reviews.
I think it's great. I mean, you guys, I'm all for it. Just make sure you tag the Bourbon Life and say, Mark's too lazy. No, I'm just kidding. My new job's got me just like, well, I'm not even gonna go down
Working?
that. I'm not. Yeah,
Yeah,
working.
busy.
That's it. I'm working. I'm actually working.
Yeah, Mark's
So,
worked from home for how many years? 8 years?
8 years.
Hey,
now.
just
years?
because you
Yeah.
work from home doesn't mean that you don't work. My
Well, and
job
Ma-
has been
but-
kicking my ass.
Mark didn't. That's why he is now.
I
It's,
did.
you know.
I did work, but it was a nice. It was a nice.
He-
I wasn't going out. Let's put it that way.
He was a hermit. Let's face it.
Yes,
You know?
I didn't go out. I did-
Agoraphobic.
for work. I did not have to go out for work. Now I'm going out quite a bit. I was in Houston last week, but most of my travels through Kentucky, which is great. I love getting out and seeing our agents, but at the same time, yeah, it just takes its toll. So yeah, unfortunately, I've been a little remiss over the last.
Did
few
you hit
months.
any good bourbon bars while you were in Houston?
No, man, we were
No, he
slam
actually just
packed
walked
from.
in 'em.
We were like, We were packed from like 7 in the morning till dinner 9, 10 o'clock at night.
I was going to say dinner, so like at 4.
And then go back to the hotel and then pass out and get up and do it all over again. So
Have them canned sardine and crackers.
Anyway, anyhow, so thank you to all the brands for the products you sent us, and we appreciate that, and we enjoy
Including Maker's Mark, right?
including Makers. Matt's like,
Hell
can you
yeah.
guys
Hey,
can
speaking
you
of
move
Maker's
this
Mark,
thing along?
Mark.
Hey, look, what a surprise! This is the brand new. This just came out.
Maker's Mark Rucker.
Yeah, so I just got this bottle. I was in Louisville today, and I got a text message from somebody from their marketing firm that said, "Hey, we just dropped a bottle off at your house." And then Anita texted me. She's like, "Hey, I think
There's a
somebody-
weird guy outside looking in the window.
I think somebody just left a bottle on our front porch." So yes, this is the new. This is part of the wood finishing series, which Denny and Jane, when they were there, had started that. Jane really started it, and then they had all the funky naming convention, the FS 1602
Hey, listen,
5000.
I give them credit for that. It's just named after the experiment. So
Correct.
Yeah, but it's still, that was the word. And Denny and Jane would tell you, it's like we're awful at naming stuff, and that's just what they went
Yeah,
with, right?
just naming them after Lexuses.
Yeah. So this is the second release in the new. I think there's going to be 5. I think that's what they'd said.
yeah, the side of the bottle says 2 of 5 on it.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, it does. It says release 2 of 5.
I
Thank
thought
you so
that there
much.
were only
Hard.
5 bottles ever made of that, and that was
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I've
Mark
got one of
got
them.
number
Yeah,
two.
and Mark got number 2. Yeah,
Yeah, that's it.
Who got number 1?
I got 2 of 5.
not Mark.
I don't know. It wasn't me. No, this one's called the Keepers release. Last year's was called the Heart release. So what they do each year, different teams at the distillery get together and select what they want to release and what they want to do. So last year,
Remind me not to get the janitor's release.
so the Heart, I don't remember the Heart release. Which team was involved with that? This is the Keepers release. This is the warehouse. What did it say? The warehouse guys,
I
right?
don't know,
The
you got the
warehouse.
press release, Marcus.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Keepers release was born from our close collaboration with the Maker's Mark warehouse team, the Guardians of our. They should have called it like Guardians of the Galaxy or what? No,
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I'm
that's
sure there's
probably
no
a
Probably
trademark
a
infringement there. Yeah, that's,
that's
that's
a-
all fair game.
they've got attorneys. They can work it out, right? So,
Yeah.
But I love the bottle. I mean, the bottle. This is the cellar release bottle too, right? These big, tall Maker's Mark. I like those. So yeah, Keepers release 2025 version. Notes bold oak and toasted sweetness. That's what it
And
says.
how easy was that bottle to open with that wax job?
It was super easy.
Unlike somebody else's
unlike
bottles.
another brand that I know that has wax tops that you have to
Hey.
get a lighter. You have to get a lighter or a blowtorch out to.
You know what? They
open.
didn't perfect their wax till like the mid 2000s, and they spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in R&D. And you know what?
And you know what? They
more
hand
power
dip.
to 'em.
They hand dip every bottle. Like what is it? Like 1 million bottles a year or something like that. Even the little shot bottles, they hand dip all those bottles, man. I'm like, how in the hell can you guys?
I mean, we
that.
hand dip as many fucking bottles as we can.
I'm not
We
giving
try-
you a hard time. I'm just saying. I mean, they're obviously a huge production, dude. I'm just,
Stoking the
Sorry,
fire.
Beam Suntory, we just can't keep up with the production schedule.
anyhow, but yeah. So that's and this is retail. Let's see. It's 109.2 proof. I don't think it had. I don't see any type of age.
I think the
statement
last
on
one was
here.
like 65 or 68 bucks because it's
This is-
cheaper than a private select.
Oh, really?
Well, this
I
is
didn't realize
this is
that.
$74.99. So a little bump in price potentially there. I don't see any type of age statement, but
I was going to
Makers
say maybe it's a little bit older.
Makers is typically like 6 to 8.
6 to 8, and then they do the finishing for a few months, right? And the
Because this is what, virgin French oak?
American.
American?
Merca.
Yep.
Says on the side.
no, this is 10 virgin oak staves. It says.
American.
Oh, it's American oak. I got it. Okay.
Yeah, not for
10 virgin toasted American oak staves.
Oh God! Like, I mean, shit. There's only one extra word than what I said.
Bottled in February 2025. So I'm doing good on this one. This one just got on my
Hey, we
doorstep.
went from February 24 to February 25.
Sorry,
It's like a time warp.
I'm sorry, Frey Ranch, but thank you. But yes, so got the bottle to. Anyway, who's nosed it? Who wants to?
I
Stacey.
haven't nosed it
Chad.
yet. I've been listening.
To my wonderful conversation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
So for me on the nose, it's got like very nougaty. It's like Three Musketeers, a little bit of chocolate, that whipped sugar, some caramel, shortbread cookie. It's like those Christmas cookies in the tin, or butter cookie short, whatever you call them.
butter
Yeah.
cookies.
It's got a nice little like light tobacco, like like a burnt tobacco, not like a green or dry tobacco, but like an actual burnt like tobacco from a cigar or something. Get a little bit of leather, nice dried fruit, like raspberry, blackberry, blueberries on it. Very subtle on the nose, but there's a nice medley of baking spices. And it's just kind of the smorgasbord of like all the brown spices, little pepper, brown sugar, nutmeg, clove, cinnamon. But I think it's a very quintessential wheat nose. I think it noses hotter than 109 proof though. I think it's got a little bit of an astringency to it, that it's a little ethanol heavy at first, but that's why I've kept swirling it, and it's opened up as I've done that.
Okay. Stacey, can you
freaking agree with
you
everything?
jump in?
Yeah, I agree with
Can you
everything
add
he said.
anything?
The only thing I was going to say, he said nougat. The first thing that popped out to me was kind of like a pie crust note to it. But
Yeah.
I agree with everything that Chad said, especially with the burnt tobacco notes, because that's something that jumped out to me as well.
I mean, Chad said it pretty much everything, so I don't know.
But I mean, he hit all the bases.
He did. I'm hoping.
But I'm sure that Matt's going to have something.
I was just going to say,
usually do.
Matt always has something to add. Matt?
Well, I agree with Chad. One of the things he said that it was kind of unnecessarily astringent right up front. I think it took a good little bit of time swirling it in the glass, getting some air into it before that subdued and died down a little bit. The first few times I went in to nose it, kind of burned off a little bit, not in a good way either at first. So it took a little time to open up. And then there's definitely the influences, the toasting is what I really notice.
Yeah.
There's like a light toasted almond or like that toasted oak flavor on there, almost like graham cracker or like kind of like 7-layer bar, kind of maybe a little like baked chocolate or like kind of like that coconut, kind of like those lactin notes on there. But then as it sits in the glass a little more, I'm getting kind of like a funky, musty, wet wood.
Oh.
Kind of smell near the end. It only shows up like every once in a while, but I did pick up almost like burnt wet wood kind of note, something near the end of it. It
Definitely nose is way hotter than
See, I don't get that, guys.
I do.
Maybe I let mine set for a while, because I poured first, so maybe I let it, and I've swirled it a little bit. So
you did the neck pour.
I did the neck pour. That's exactly what it was. It's the neck pour, so it's going to be totally
Let's
different.
revisit that episode.
Yeah. I don't have really much to add. It's just got a nice, it's almost like just desserty aroma to me. I get a little bit of, see, with wheated, with makers, I always pick up a little bit of like a strawberry, and I get almost like a donut type of, like a sugary donut-y type of flavor as well with that. But yeah, just really sweet. The toasted comes through, I think, as well, like Matt said. Chad, you kind of touched on all the notes, so there's not much else that I can add.
Nicely done.
So are you saying you're not fans then of the nose?
I like the nose.
Okay.
I think when I first poured it, it took a solid like of us bantering and joking and ha ha ha, like 4 or 5 minutes before I could really like start to nose it, and like another 45 minutes before I could really start to appreciate the nose.
I got you.
So it's about a solid like, I mean, they say it's like wine. You pour it, let it aerate.
Yeah.
You know, this is one of those where it definitely needs a little bit of time and air in the glass before you really go in, because it was kind of strong.
It wasn't a nose that I expected from a Maker's Mark product at first.
Matt?
Yeah, I think I got to agree. It just needed some time to sit. There's nothing off-putting or unpleasant about it, but at first it kind of burned out my senses a little bit, and I wasn't able to get much.
Italian. It's a little much.
It's almost dessert-like to me on the nose, I think. I mean,
But that's the neck pour.
That's the neck pour. I got a different pour than you guys, so.
Different bottle altogether.
I don't know what else to say. So let's talk about what we talked about. What we said was maybe negative, but it really isn't negative news.
Sad news, because people lost their jobs.
People laugh. So let's talk about the really positive stuff. I just saw that Buffalo Trace finished, was it 1.2 billion?
1.2 billion.
I mean, shit, dude, that's crazy. That's a ton of.
What all did they add?
Well,
Basically like.
Or what didn't they add?
Yeah, there you go. It's easier to name that, you know.
They basically doubled their whole production, right? They added a brand new.
I tell you what they didn't add was the more warehouse in Frankfurt across the street. So they got shut down on that.
Yeah. But now.
Didn't that get bought by somebody else across the street?
But they are building warehouses other places.
Tennessee.
Yeah. So.
Really?
West Kentucky, yeah.
Interesting.
And I don't know if that's to avoid the tax on the ad
I say it's
valorem
a little
tax.
bit both, avoiding, dealing with Frankfurt being assholes, and then also Tennessee is right now offering a lot of taxes, breaks. So I mean, why wouldn't you don't pay taxes on the barrel aging, so why wouldn't you put them somewhere in Indiana or Tennessee or wherever?
But to be Kentucky, it has to age here at least 1 year.
I mean, yeah.
And to be Kentucky straight, it has to age here at least 2, right?
No.
Or you can age here 1 and then
a year and a day.
Go somewhere else as long as it's 2 years.
Yeah,
it's
2 years
Kentucky
old,
straight.
here. Yeah.
But you still have to meet that 1 year threshold to be Kentucky bourbon in terms of your aging, right?
Yeah, I'm sure there's some gray area. I mean, they make enough money; they could pay anyone to fudge it. So really don't matter.
Chad's just driven off the deep end now. He's like, I'm going to be like, whatever. Damn it. But it's a 1.2 billion. So the cool thing about their column still is that they've replicated the existing one down to every rivet, every offshoot, everything that they had inside of that. They actually copied it, traced it, rebuilt the new still, even like valves and things that on the inside that they don't use, that they may have closed off or that don't. That's the story.
They gave it an appendix?
Yeah. Why does this still have a gallbladder?
I'm just telling you. I mean, that's the story that they built it. I mean,
it's romantic.
An exact identical replica. That's what they said. But they've doubled everything. I mean, everything is. It's a ton of money.
Are they doing anything with their visitor center?
They've already expanded. I mean, it's got a second floor.
Yeah.
Like
well, I mean, I know that, but are they doing anything else?
Yeah, they're putting like 2018, Thomas H. Handy out there, and they're putting Stag Jr. on the shelf, and they put out some straight from the barrel.
When I drove past there last week, middle of the week, kind of like end of the day, 4 or 5 o'clock.
Probably like 500 people outside.
Yeah, parking lot was packed.
It's insane.
On a Wednesday.
And here's what I don't understand, because
4 p.m.
They've got that like the 90-day moratorium, right? So like you can't buy, like if you buy Blanton's, you're shut down for.
You scan your ID.
But look at how many people
buy.
are like, oh, it's my 90 days.
Well, that's true, but still, at that many people,
But there were tour buses.
Well, that's the thing.
Pulled in there. There were
one of my
school
buddies
buses.
went a couple weeks ago, and he said he waited in line. He's like, it wasn't bad. And I'm like, oh, okay, like 15 minutes. He was there for an hour.
Yeah.
Waiting for a bottle of Blanton's.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah. I was like, yeah, I get it.
You know what was nice in the pandemic when they did online ordering? Like I got a bottle of a Harlan Wheatley Eagle Rare pick, and I ordered it online. And
How was that pick?
It was good. I'm sure he didn't pick it, but it had a name on it.
And Uber Eats delivered it for you?
No,
That would be even better.
I drove
the
to
house.
Frankfurt, and they had Blanton's in the gift shop that day and Taylor Small Batch. So I was like, well, I got the whole like tater spread. And
Would they let you buy all 3 at once?
yeah, you can get one of each bottle, and that's still a thing today. But I mean, this turned like 2020, and it was like, hey, this is nice. I ordered this online, but I'm sure now. Actually, I don't know. I feel like it would have been more of a hassle then to do it now, but.
I don't know.
I literally
Weather's
just
getting
got
nice.
online and just ordered it, but
I still don't want to go stand in line for an hour.
I will never stand in line for a bottle again.
Really?
No, I just can't do it.
Man, I don't.
You heard it here, folks.
I know.
On the
You
Bourbon
see
Life
Chad
Crew.
in line.
I know.
That's right. Everybody
Calling
owes
out.
him a swift kick in the nuts
Yeah.
if you see him
Exactly
Tag
right.
the Bourbon
waiting
Life.
in
You know,
line.
you know when the last time I actually waited in line for a bottle of bourbon was whenever they opened the Kroger and Brandon Crossings liquor store, and Chris texted me and was like, I've got 3-4 Roses picks in there, and no one's buying them. And I'll come buy one of all 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was it. Before that, 2018 or 2019
I
at
don't
Liquor
know
Barn.
when the last time was that I waited in line for a bottle either.
I have to think about that. I don't remember.
It's seriously been since 2018 or 2019 at
Yeah.
Liquor Barn on a Saturday.
The
Yeah.
last raffle I went to was the Pappy raffle that we did a podcast at.
Yeah, but we
that's
didn't wait
right.
in line, so
Yeah.
Right, but
Yeah.
doesn't count.
that's a raffle.
We stood outside and froze to death. We didn't even go
wasn't
this
that
year.
bad.
Last year?
Well, it wasn't any warmer this year.
Yeah.
No.
Did you
No,
go?
I did, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I
And you
went.
struck out? Yeah.
Yeah,
of course,
come on.
sorry.
I got a buddy who's been 3 for 3.
No shit.
I swear to God.
Man, well, Phillip
does he know?
didn't Phillip got one
Phillip
last
got
year?
a handy,
Yeah.
didn't he?
No, you got a stag.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
You got a handy, didn't? Where'd you get a handy?
That's Totals lottery. That's the
Where'd you
online
get it?
lottery.
He got a total handy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Work.
Anyway, all right.
Well, you're on the clock, no less.
Exactly.
Nice.
So let's go back to this conversation we're talking about.
Yeah, tell us more about the handy.
No, so
Well, I got to work at like 8:04. I was supposed to be 8 a.m.
yeah.
But,
So Heaven Hills almost completed their new distillery, right?
yeah,
they're in Bardstown. Right?
So what is it called? Like New Heaven Hill Distillery?
I can't.
Wow, that's creative.
I mean,
I can't remember. Yeah, it's got a different. I mean, it's Heaven Hill.
2.0.
Is it Creek or something? Like shit, I can't remember what it's called now. But it's almost done there on the bypass as you're going around Bardstown there. But yeah, I mean, all these big brands are getting closer.
Potter Jane's running their
Potter
first
Jane,
run.
man.
Yeah.
I saw Jane had posted online that on Facebook, as a matter of fact.
When are you going to
they're-
have them back on the show?
Hopefully soon. I'd love to do that. Yeah, because I love Denny and.
I was going to say, I'd like to hear their updates.
Yeah, I would too. I'd like to see. They had a picture of them with their team, and they were showing the. I can't remember, was it the fermentation? No,
Yeah,
it was the
fermentation
Was it
tanks.
fermentation? I can't remember if it's the cooking tank or the fermentation. I can't remember what they were showing, but yeah. So happy for them, man, to see them coming online. And Jane was adamant when they were here. Of course, Denny's like, I don't know about that, but she's like, we're not going to sell anything before what, 6 years old? Is that?
For some reason, 5 or 6 stands out in my mind.
Yeah, of their own.
I wish them the best.
On their own.
Yeah, but they said they weren't going to source anything.
No. They're like contracting. They'll, whatever.
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah,
They will
they're
sell their
contract
distilled
Yes,
stuff,
yeah,
but for
yes.
their brand,
Yeah, Yeah.
whomever, whatever that may be.
Yeah, they are not going to put their own whiskey out on the market before that age. But if you contract with them, you can do whatever you
I
want.
just love those guys, man. And Jane is like, there are so many people out there that have
They're
said,
great. She's
like,
wild though.
Like she helps people. Like people just like, I'm going to start a brand, and Jane's like, oh, well, I'll do some blending for you. Don't worry about, you can pay me something or whatever. You don't have. I mean, I shouldn't put
It's
that
actually
out there.
a decent Jane Bowie impression for some reason.
That's what he practices in the bathroom mirror.
I do. I practice
Shower
my-
talk.
How does Jane Bowie sound? How
would Jane say
how would
this?
Jane say this? So, absolutely love those guys, though. Yes, we need to have them back on. But I mean, I'm hoping that means we've talked about this before. There's going to be more production, so hopefully that means more releases, more access to these bourbons that are, especially with Buffalo Trace. Because I love Stag, I just can't find it anywhere. The junior, what was originally the junior, I love that product. Can't get it. So I'm hoping that we see that. I don't know, but what do you think? It's going to be down the road, obviously, still quite a ways. But
I'm looking forward to it.
you think it'll happen? I mean, you think
hope
we'll
so.
see?
I think it's necessary that the big brands have expanded, even as much as we talk about a contraction in production that's being shown in the market right now. And we're wondering if brands are going to be selling off stuff or if they can hold up with the amount that they're producing and bottling. I think the bigger brands were definitely put up against the wall and needed these expansions. And it's coming at a perfect time for them to be finished expanding right now. I would not want to be like a heritage distillery that's just breaking ground
Yeah, good point.
on a huge expansion right at this moment. But the fact that we have one coming online now or in the next couple months, I think it's poised to be a good situation for a lot of the large heritage distilleries in Kentucky.
Yeah, I agree with that. So, guys, we're getting close to the end of the round. Damn, that was quick. We should talk about the.
See, that's how you land one, Mark.
Thank you. Anyway, so let's talk about the palate and finish. Stacey.
This one, I'm really digging the palate on this one. Not that I didn't like the last
Man,
one.
can you silence your notifications, Chad? You're
important,
ruining the whole
okay?
damn podcast.
It's important.
It's Pablo.
important.
I know.
Pablo.
I know what it is. Yeah, I know who it is.
Chad.
You need to walk the dog.
No, this has all of the quintessential notes that I look for in a bourbon. I get lots of custardy notes on this. I think it is quite delicious. Get a lot of the baking spices come through on it, a little bit of dark fruit notes on it. I think it's really damn good.
Nice. Chad, what about you, man? Oh, he's busy.
No, I can talk
He
to
can
you.
He can talk, man.
I can make
he's
time.
so talented. Yeah, he can.
Yeah,
he can join us again.
I'm working, but
Thank you, Chad. I appreciate
thanks
it.
for squeezing us in.
Anyway, so the palate's fine.
I like it.
Okay.
I think it's graham crackery. It's like little toasted s'mores, graham crackery, toasted marshmallow, a little chocolate. It's like light fruit, but the finish kind of falls flat for me. It doesn't really go that far. I get a lot of ethanol and mid palate. It just kind of it's really sweet, then sharp, and then kind of dies.
What do you think of the mouthfeel on it?
It is creamy.
That's what she said.
Honestly, it felt thicker
That's what she said.
in my mouth than I thought it would.
Not to you, Mark,
for
but
real.
yes.
Oh, yeah. Matt, are you going to agree with Chad's Chad's on a downward spiral on this.
I thought the first sip was really hot. Like
Yeah,
really,
it was hot.
Really, really hot. But it tamed down.
Yeah.
A lot of the good Maker's Mark notes come across. There's kind of that rich fruit, red ripe berries, or like red ripe orchard fruits, some red wine fruits. I like the fact that this isn't, or at least I'm so used with Maker's Mark to be seeing French oak. I think the fact that this is American oak leads away from a lot of those really overly spicy, overly bold, fruit-forward notes and plays more with that toasted American oak is really nice on here. There's a good balance between the oak and also flavorful, like those fruit notes, the sweet confectioner sugar, like funnel cake, graham cracker, s'more, like Chad said, kind of like a light chocolate baking spice on it. It's good. It's flavorful. I think it drinks full, but finish isn't too long.
Yeah, a little short on the finish.
Yeah,
I would agree with that.
I think there's no reason not to drink this.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's very dessertish to me. I mean, this is something I would drink, in the evening after dinner, just a little dessert drink, something to enjoy. I might even like this one. It comes across a little hot to me, and I love high proof stuff, right? So, 109 too, but to me, it drinks a little hotter. No, I was just gonna say maybe a rock, maybe one big cube.
I do think that adding a little bit of water or one ice cube would be.
I can see this in a Manhattan.
I think it'd be great just over ice with a dash or two of bitters, just like some regular like Angostura or just some standard bitters on ice, like no simple syrup, no sugar, no nothing, just
because it's sweet. I think it's sweet. It comes across sweet, very dessert-like to me. But yeah, I agree, Chad. That would be good. Might have to try that later. All right, guys, we're in round two. So what are your final thoughts on this one? Yes, no?
I like it.
$75.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I don't dislike it. I think there are definitely better finishing efforts from Maker's Mark.
I've had other finishing series that I've liked better.
Okay.
But
It is for sure a very good alternative. Like, here's my thing. They're shooting themselves in the foot on private selects, which are now like $100 at retail, and they're putting these out for less.
Yeah.
It's hard to sell a Maker's Private Select when you have these on the shelf, whether the private selects might be more your profile or trusted by the store, or like you trust the store. Like, why spend 100? You can spend 75 and get something that's kind of like within range.
Right.
I think they're just kind of cannibalizing their own business. So
interesting thought.
Yeah, no doubt. Matt, what do you think?
It's good.
Okay.
I don't know if I would purchase it, but I like it. I agree with Stacey. This is better than some of the other ones I've had. Not as good as some of the other ones I've had, but this has given me no reason not to drink it.
Okay.
Yeah, agreed.
All right. I like it. Like I said, it's dessert-like. I could see myself sipping on this in the evening. So
I do agree with Matt. I think this would be killer in a Manhattan.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion. All right, guys, let's take a quick break, get a word from our sponsors, and we'll be back with more with the Bourbon Life Crew in just a minute. Welcome to the kitchen table at James B. Beam Distilling Company, where every visit is a celebration of tradition and flavor. Did you know that the kitchen table is nestled right within the heart of the distillery? That's right. You can experience the essence of James B. Beam's legacy while savoring their delectable dishes. Join them every Wednesday through Sunday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. for a culinary journey like no other. Planning a special event? Let the kitchen table be your host, creating unforgettable memories for you and your guests. And don't miss their upcoming Know the Craft event on March 25th, featuring an exclusive journey into the heart of bourbon craftsmanship with Fred and Freddie Know, followed by a 4-course meal at the kitchen table. For more information and reservations, visit beamdistilling.com. The kitchen table at James B. Beam Distilling Company. Come as a friend, leave as family. All right, everybody, welcome back to the third and final round of the Bourbon Life Podcast. I'm your host, Mark. And yeah, I'm here with my friends.
people.
Oh, it's gone downhill that quickly?
After that little, just because I don't know who the string dusters are or whatever.
The infamous
Yes.
string dusters.
Anyway, so we're the Bourbon Life Podcast, and I'm here with my friends, sort of, around the flights of the rectangular table. We've got Matt.
Hey, what's up? The table's looking good, I gotta say. It's nice to see it back messy,
full
fully
of
stocked.
stuff. Yeah, it is. This is stocked.
The table's like built right now.
Yeah,
you know?
man.
Yeah.
Stacked.
I'm glad
The
this
table's
guy,
a little juiced right now.
Yeah.
the guy that built this table, man, he like made it sturdy. Thank God, because there's probably 200 pounds of whiskey on. No, I'm just
I
kidding.
was going to say, what the fuck you trying to say, Rucker?
Yeah, no, we don't want
200
to.
pounds of elbows on the table?
We don't want to pull that blue light out and
Oh.
scan the table.
Doing
Louis.
it.
Yeah. Anyway, we got Chad.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Not much, Chad. How you doing?
Doing all right. I'm having a cougar bait and just hanging out with some friends.
You know, I'm gonna have to talk to my buddy DH at Cougar.
Can he
Country Boy.
sponsor?
I don't know.
Can he
He's-
sponsor the
You want to know
podcast?
what's funny is so with some guys at work, like twice I've gone to Country Boy, here in town.
Yeah.
And now every time on like a Thursday or a Friday I get in my car and I run to FedEx, it'll be like Country Boy, and my car's just like, are you going there? I'm like, I probably should. If my car's telling me I should go there, I should go there.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
should
I
go
think
there.
that's divine intervention.
Yeah. Mine used to say, every time I got in the car, mine used to say, Liquor Barn? I'd pull up ways and be like, are you Liquor Barn? I'm like, nope, not today. Sorry. I wish.
Mailbox.
No, yeah. Gotta get my mail. Yeah.
Yeah, they call you AOL.
Yeah. So, but I would love to get DH on the show. And he's talked about that. He's got some pretty cool stories. I think it'd be fun to get him. But yeah, I love it. Cougar Bait's my favorite beer. So, anyway, we got Stacey. Stacey,
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, and Stacey.
Anyway, we have
by the
Stacey.
way,
Okay.
Hey, everybody.
Mark, how you been?
rounding out the crew, we got Stacey. Phillip's not here. We forgot to mention Phillip in the second round, I think.
No, we didn't.
So we
Oh,
mentioned
in
him-
the second round, we
second
did.
round. I don't think we said anything in the
Yeah,
second.
we forgot to mention him in the second round.
Yeah,
Hey,
I don't,
Phillip,
That's, we
this is
didn't
second
forget
round.
to mention Phillip in the second round.
we didn't.
We just didn't.
We didn't mention him,
Exactly. That's fine.
but we should have.
Should we?
Because we miss Phillip.
Do we?
I
Oh
do.
my God.
Man,
Speak for your- speak
Chad
for
is
yourself,
like
Rucker.
just like
He's Mean Girls. He's in the Mean Girls Club.
he wears pink on Wednesdays, right? Is that what?
She don't even go here.
Man,
She doesn't even go here.
wow.
I've got a shirt that says that.
Wow.
Well, you need to wear that to
I
a
wear it
crew
to work
night.
under. I don't have it on today. Today's a Whiskey Mutant shirt, but the same one you have.
That guy.
He is a douche. But yeah, the next time we do a crew episode, I wear my "They don't even go here" shirt. It's a they. Yeah, they don't even go here is the quote. So yeah.
Nice.
And it's got like a bad drawing of like her in the hoodie. So
Nice.
Dig
So
it.
are you guys doing okay here tonight? Having a good time? Chad, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I mean, it's
know
mediocre at best.
Chad's still working a little bit, man.
I am,
So
but I'm having a good time. I mean, stuff like this is why things like this are why I need things like this.
yeah, I get
you know?
it, man. I get it for sure. I think we all do.
Are you hanging in there? We haven't made a single old joke.
You haven't. I was the only one that even referenced how
Yeah,
old I am, right? So,
Are we
Out of
okay?
practice.
and you went to the bathroom. I did not even
Are
gone
you
to
okay?
the. I've not. Matt, how are you? Wait, is this like that awkward fucking
Is this like a Black Mirror episode?
that commercial? Have you seen that where it's like all these weird commercials? Like it's okay to ask your friend how they're doing. Have you seen those commercials?
No, because all my friends just fucking give me shit 24/7.
I was-
So
I don't have friends.
Oh my god, yeah, it's like a whole.
what are friends?
It's like a whole series, and I'm not sure. It's like a government sponsored. I'm
Of course it is.
not sure from where, which agency or whatnot. But it's like
You mean from which
So
government?
is-
Which government?
Is
which
this
agency of the government.
is this
but it's like,
your
Doge,
way of asking us if we're okay? Is this an intervention
you know,
you're setting up?
I'm taking this time to ask you guys.
My mental
You know
health
what?
has been
Mental-
a little scattered.
Has it?
Kind of like this table.
Yeah, this is kind of like a Venn diagram of how my brain feels.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is a good representation of the thought process that I have around 4 o'clock in the morning when I wake up, and I'm like, I got
How
this,
much?
this, and
But
this,
how
and
much
this, and this.
You are
espresso
old.
do you
No,
have?
but I go back to bed.
Oh, it's because you get up to pee.
Yeah, I go to the
Yeah.
bathroom, right?
He sleeps till 7:30 and has.
See, there we
brunch,
go. The
you know,
jokes are coming back. Thank
It's
you
not
guys.
jokes when it's the truth.
It is the
Yeah.
truth. But, wait till you guys get old. I'm gonna call you guys up.
Hey, guess
and be
what?
like,
I was just
wake
about
up
to
at
admit
5
to you.
5:30 every day.
I get up in the middle of the night to pee almost every night, and I'm not old.
I just
There
pee
you
bed
I
go.
just
every
drink
night.
a lot of water.
I mean,
So I wake up in the morning and piss excellence, though. How about you?
Oh, I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast.
yep. That makes complete
Your
sense.
brain
Wait,
is a
yeah.
thin candy shell.
I'm surprised you didn't know that, Richard.
Richard.
Man, okay, we're digressing really bad here, right?
Anyways, guys, let's talk about what we're drinking this round.
You've got it.
I do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you
Tell
picked
us what
this.
you
Hey,
picked. You picked this
you know
one.
what, guys? I think that everyone's going to be really shocked and appalled when they see what we're drinking.
Hold on, before you hold
did
it
that-
up.
You did that just for me, though. I know
Before you
did.
hold it up to everyone, just let them take a second to guess what it is. All right,
Yeah.
for the public, all right, you got 5, 4, 3, to
If you need it that
1.
long, though.
It's Elijah Craig, everybody.
Barrel proof.
Barrel proof.
Barrel proof.
Yeah, that's right.
Mark does not like Elijah Craig at all. So I don't
Only
even know why
87
this
bottles.
was sent to
I
him.
give you a bottle for your birthday and Christmas every year.
I'll take it. I'll always take Elijah Craig.
So
Barrel
when we
proof.
were opening the 80,000 boxes, thank God this was one that was
Every
in there.
time there was a Heaven Hill, it's like, this isn't, no, okay.
No,
know.
it was like, this is it.
We got a larceny, right? We
We have 2
a
larcenies.
Yeah.
We
Barrel
got
proof.
we got
a
the
couple
Bernheim.
The
But
Bernheim
this is kind of like the gold standard.
Oh, yeah.
For
absolutely.
Mark's pace.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
like,
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, the
This one
A120.
in particular is the A125, guys.
And it's what, like 10 years, 5 months or something?
It should
It
say on the
literally
label.
says it on the bottle if you
Look
look.
on
10
the-
years, 7 months.
Oh, Chad, you're off by 2 months. Have you had this?
Oh, I have.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm going to
Oh,
reserve
that's
my
right.
thoughts.
Because you. Okay.
So,
For the public.
All right. Sorry, Stacey. Go ahead.
dear Mark. And it says, dear friend of Heaven Hill. Dear Marcus.
Dear biggest supporter.
insert recipient here.
Dear bitch.
Yeah.
Enclosed
Oh, wow.
is the A125
Laura Mepsom,
edition
Laura
of
Mepsom,
Elijah
Laura
Craig
Mepsom.
Barrel Proof Bourbon. This is the first Elijah Craig Barrel Proof release for
2025.
2025. Guys, we have a hot release.
Heck yeah, we do.
Hot release.
And it's timely. I mean, this is pretty recent.
Yeah.
Sure is.
Yeah.
At 118.2 proof, A125 will show an age statement of 10 years and 7 months, but as a reminder, the age statement represents the youngest barrel in the batch and will vary from edition to edition. That's pretty much all you need to know.
Because they dropped the 12-year statement, right?
Yes.
So, and then of course, the great thing was the next release after they dropped that, they came out with like what? was it?
13, 10 month.
Yeah, it's
like,
like-
the
it's like-
infamous C923
Yeah,
Which,
the
hey-
one which was.
whiskey of the year.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've got a few bottles of that somewhere.
You think so?
Yeah, I know. I know there's some.
Weird. Guess what the retail price is on this bad boy?
$89.99.
$68.99.
$72.99.
Matt wins. $74.99.
Matt,
Damn.
that's the same price to the makers, right? So, all right, between the two, which would you pay for?
Elijah Craig.
Elijah Craig.
Duh.
Haven't even tasted it yet.
Yeah.
I haven't hated an Elijah Craig.
I don't know
I
that.
used to
Barrel
say this
proof.
about Knob Creek and Russell's Picks and
Knob Creek, yeah.
I've got that pick over here
I
somewhere,
know.
right?
Well,
Yeah.
we gonna
Bullet
dig into
Picks.
that later.
Like,
Okay.
there's no such thing as like a bad Knob Creek or Russell's or Bullet Pick. There's good and there's great.
Yeah.
It's kind of how I feel about Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. There's no such thing as a bad batch of Elijah Craig. It's good and great.
Agreed.
So far, like, I'm not saying the maker's mark is bad. I'm just saying it's,
Yeah, I get it.
yeah.
But this is 118, so which to me that's a little low on the spectrum.
I
of-
like those. I gotta
Oh,
say,
do you? Okay.
The lower
Well,
proof
sometimes
ones?
I really do, and I'll segue right into the. Sorry, Chad.
Well, no, I was gonna say, well, what was it like like A121 or like B521? That was like, oh my god, it's only like 120 proof or something.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
people were
Flipped out.
losing their
Like,
friggin'
forget-
minds
yeah.
over
And
it.
it's because B520 was one of my favorites, and that's only like 127 proof. I can't remember off the top of my head.
I also feel
don't
like
have
that was in the
memorized.
height of like the hazmat was like the happening
It
thing for
was,
bourbon.
but people flipped out over like it's either late 20 or early 21 of like, oh my god, it's in the teens and the low 20s. Oh my god, we can't drink it. But I think those are the best ones. It's like a low proof cast strength Four Roses. You give me a one that's like 112
Yeah.
or under.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Solid. Better than anything that's 120 plus.
I like these lower ones because, like, so a lot of times Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, we all love it because the nose is big, it's hot, it's got a lot of red fruit, a lot of oak influence, leather tobacco, kind of really that nutty kind of peanutty flavors that come across sometimes with an Elijah Craig. And this one has some of those, but I think the lower proof, somewhat younger age statement with it, there's some youthfulness coming across. There's some minty notes that I pick up a little bit on the nose. It's a little bit crisper. There's some green apple.
Yeah.
Like stuff. They're just these other flavors that cut through a lot of those bigger, bolder, oakier, higher proof notes that show some of the playfulness that this product can still exuberate and exhibit. Yeah, there's that nuttiness. It's not as like peanut forward, not as brittle forward. It's more delicate in a lot of ways, and I think plays more to the stats and the specs on this one being 10-year, 7-month, 118 proof.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Also for the price point, something aged 10 years.
Yeah.
7
at
months.
this proof point, let alone.
And
so.
yeah, that
Sure.
too. Like,
So what do
you
you-
can't beat it
Have you nosed it?
a little bit.
What do you think?
What do you think?
What? It's my job to guide this ship. Damn it. Answer the question.
Well, it's pretty damn good, if
All
I do
right.
say so myself. Like Matt was saying, I do get a little bit of the mintiness with this, like a hint of like Girl Scout cookie thin mints
Oh.
Oh, that's a good
wafting
one.
through.
Okay. Nice.
But you still get like the
Which bakery though? Like the northern bakery or the southern bakery? Is it a little more like the creamy mint or like the cookie mint? Like the little snap mint or you got to be specific.
cookie mint.
Got to
for
be
me.
Pacific here.
Specifically, I would say cookie mint.
There you
That's
go.
what I'm picking up on.
Chad, what about you?
So for me, I get it is a little minty, like eucalyptusy, a little effervescent on the nose, but also I get these like nice musty oak notes, like rickhouse floor, a little barnyardy leather tobacco notes. Great brown sugar, good red fruit, nice citrus zest on it. It is a quintessential Heaven Hill product. It's got a nice peanut brittleness to it, but I think it noses much bigger than the proof point. Last thing, it's like it noses hot, but like it's a very big nose. I think there's a lot going on, and I've had this previously, and every time I'd go back and nose it, it's a different experience. Like it just grows the more it airs out.
Yeah, when I first nose it, because you guys talked about the makers being like, ooh, this one to me.
This one was astringent to you, really?
Not astringent. It was just like, it was like the proof came through on my pour. I was like,
That didn't hit me at all.
No, I thought it was very soft.
Yeah.
Same.
wow. See, we're like totally opposite. Maybe
it's
I'm
'cause you're old.
defective or something. Maybe it is. I don't know. But I love it. See, that's what I.
Here
That's
we
what
go, third round. The old jokes are
Thank
coming
you.
in.
That's what I love about barrel proof, Elijah Craig. Is
Everything?
The fact. Well, yes, that plus the fact that when I nose it, it's just like lets me know
It's delicious.
that it's there. But the red fruits, yeah, obviously comes through, which I love. But yeah, it noses like to me it noses like an older than 10 years old.
I would agree with that.
Oh yeah, 100%. I was blinded this first time I had it, and someone said, "What do you think this is?" And I was like, "Well, I guessed Heaven Hill." I thought it was like 15, 16 years old.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
That was my guess on a
I
blind.
would put this up against like the William Heavenhill 15
But
that I
it's
have.
not like
which is what I thought I was
overly
nosing.
Yeah,
oaky
I mean-
though on the nose.
Not at all.
Which I mean, yeah, well, that's like what, like 133 or something, like super high
It's high,
proof.
yeah.
It's super oaky, but I thought this was like maybe when someone gave this to me, I thought, okay, this bottle's been open for a while. I said William Heaven Hill 15 year.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Exactly. Yeah, that's reminiscent to me of that. So I got the bottle upstairs. Yay, we can
Matt,
go.
what about you?
He already talked about it.
I already
Yeah.
went. Are you okay?
I did, yeah. I'm
You doing
good.
fine?
Gosh.
God damn.
Somebody cut Stacey off. We
anyway.
got too many open bottles.
You got AIDS, alcohol-induced dementias?
What?
Wow.
Wow.
Wow,
Anyway,
that took
well,
a-
hey,
that took a
you know
step.
some other news that came out this week talking about
AIDS.
talking about pricey bourbon and selling bourbon and whatnot. There was some interesting news on the related to the buying and selling of bottles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Secondary
Marcus, tell us all
market.
about that.
I mean, it
You're not
involves-
on Facebook.
Yeah,
I'm not on Facebook.
it
But,
involves
I mean,
some-
I see the stuff.
You shared
I
the
know
story
what,
with us.
like,
I did.
and I'd seen
people.
that.
but
You know
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. Okay, you know people. You're kind of a big deal.
I'm kind of a big deal.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But yeah, so there had been
classic,
some
you know.
some selling of some bottles that were
Horse-shaped.
allocated that were highly sought after by some bourbon people.
Buy vegetables, yeah.
But he was selling a shit ton. I was looking
God, yeah.
through the list and I'm like there were days he was selling like 70, 80 bottles to this one store
In one day.
in one day.
One transaction.
Oh yeah,
Which
I mean seriously. Yeah.
what the federal government and the state legislature have decided that it is 24 bottles, so 2 bottles a month.
But now
In a
that was
calendar year.
I think that was passed in like 23 or 24. So I think he
But
was
previous to that, though, they had to document everything that they sold.
yeah.
Everything they sold.
yeah.
You know what was not done here? Everything that was documented. It was just what was found.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of crazy the number of bottles that this individual was selling on a regular basis
Over 1,700.
to one vintage shop here in Lexington.
Can we call it a vintage?
Well, I think that's the way they.
So,
I think they used the vintage spirit law.
So that they
Right.
can buy it.
so
But,
it's
yeah.
at this
Yeah.
point, it's basically like the vintage spirits license and vintage spirits law is kind of like out the window. It's pretty much like, do you have a retail permit. If you have a retail permit in Kentucky, you can go to like Frankfurt Avenue Liquors in Louisville, and they've got like liquor barn picks because they're buying them from people off the street.
Right.
But it's like, hey, they want to have a spread of a bar,
Right.
and stuff. 100% get that. When you're in a store in a shopping mall, and you're only buying from like one brand of stuff, just to resell. That kind of goes out the window, especially like whenever you have insider knowledge of how that law should work, whether it applies to you or you think it does or not, is a whole other deal. But it's crazy because the law has never stated a number until all that stuff happened, with House of Bourbon, and they put that in place. It's 24 bottles to in a calendar year. You can do all 24 in 1 month or 1 week or 1 day.
Right.
But in a calendar year, 12 months, rolling 12 months. But the store is required to report every bottle sold. So if this store was not reporting that, or even if they were reporting that, they weren't doing their due diligence on actually following up with that. Because if this guy sold 1,700 bottles,
it was like what, 3 years, something like that.
Yeah,
three years.
That's a lot of
1,700 bottles or something.
That's a lot of alcohol.
One guy
selling
to this store.
But here's the thing: that's just one guy.
Correct.
For
How
that,
many
for,
other
for,
people?
How many other
for
people?
that location. So how many other people are there? You know?
No, I agree. So impact, I mean, that wasn't, yes, I think that shop, I've never been in that shop, so I'm assuming that they sell at secondary prices, I'm assuming, or
well,
above,
it
even
started
above.
out they didn't even sell until they realized they could make money on it, and now they only sell.
It used to be bourbon barrel products.
Okay.
So like home decor.
I tell you
things
what, I
like
sell
that.
bourbon barrel products and accessories.
Accessories,
Accessories.
So,
Propane and propane.
so kind of expanding that out to the whole secondary market, which, I used to follow online, and I just don't see much
Been pretty quiet lately.
much going on. I mean, is the secondary market, is it dead? I mean,
No.
I think and I don't have Facebook. Matt, do you have Facebook?
Matt has Facebook.
I know, yeah.
He's sneaky. He's very very sneaky.
He spells
You
his name
underestimate the level of
backwards.
his sneakiness.
Yeah, it's like Tatam.
To Tam.
He's sneaky. He's very, very sneaky.
I don't have Facebook or follow secondary, but I mean, I hear these prices like, oh, it's selling for this, right? I do use Unicorn Auction. Like I buy bottles on Unicorn, and I sell on Unicorn Auction, so I do have that kind of knowledge. But
Yeah.
it does seem there are certain products, and at this point in time, to me, it seems like Blanton's you could throw on Unicorn Auction, you pay $60 for it, you might sell it for $120, $130. Who they then take almost 30% of your money, so it's like, all right, you're only really making like $80, $90.
Yeah.
But at one point in time, Blanton's was selling for like $150, $200 locally here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that's still the case or not, but it does seem like the secondary market, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not in Facebook groups. It does seem like it is kind of like flattening out,
It's been pretty stagnant lately, I
Yeah.
would say.
I don't see posts. I mean, because I was a member of several groups just because I was always curious to see what was
Yeah, I like to know
what was going on, what people were
circulating.
doing, what was. Now, I mean, I'm a member of
what men are doing. What? Yeah.
of an older bottles, like dusty bottles, right? So whatever. I like older bottles.
Yeah, you do.
So, but yeah, so I see activity on there, which I get. But yeah, the secondary market in general, to me, it looks like it's kind of falling apart, man. They're not.
I wouldn't necessarily say it's falling apart, but I think that people are more cognizant of the reciprocation that could happen for.
I mean, there's
getting
also not that
busted.
much expendable income anymore.
That too.
Yeah.
And what is really like hot hitting the market right this second? Like
Yeah.
how long? I haven't honestly been like checking it out
Yeah.
constantly.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, usually when you see a big release,
You'll
then,
see
then
them
that
circulating.
day within 10 minutes, you're going to see somebody in the parking lot posting a bottle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, which is kind of crazy. I just don't see that the demand is there as much as it was.
I'm also not seeing a lot of like, hey, this dropped. Everybody get over here right now.
I'm not
well,
either.
what's
So-
funny is Matt just said the exact opposite.
Oh.
In the break earlier, talking about Buffalo Trace, or that might
Oh,
have
the
been
500 during the show. Yeah, talking about all the people that
But
were.
is that due to people being like, yo, this is dropped. Get over here
I
right
think
now?
so. I mean, there are still people who do hunt, and like you
Oh,
know what?
yeah.
Like I mean, Buffalo Trace putting out like Thomas H. Handy,
Yeah, they put out
CYPB,
some-
Stag Jr., old batches of like old Charter. Excuse me, like that.
They put out some wild stuff. Like like over the last few months.
Yeah,
right?
they just had straight from the barrel out like 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Yeah,
Which
for,
is like
for
what-
below what the average retail price, they were under. For once, a distillery was selling under retail price,
right.
and it was
Well.
crazy.
Yeah,
and it
missed that
was
one.
something like 2,000 bottles,
That's
like insane.
Yeah.
You know, but I think the secondary market is there. I think the like flabbergastedness of like, oh my god, you know, like CYPB used to go for like $400 to $600, you know, and people were paying $400 to $600 for a 45 or $60, depending on where your market is.
Sure,
Right? You know, mine
yeah.
was like $58, but people paying almost 10x for a bottle, and it's like that's crazy, you know.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
there are still people, I mean, like if you heard, hey, you know, I mean, how often do we joke in our group chat about like, well, Woodford or Heaven Hill or blah, 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 this is going out.
Yeah.
Marcus, get me a bottle, which, you know, I know you're not like, you know, home to do that.
Unfortunately, I
but
can't be doing that.
I'll still will text you and say it. But it's the FOMO is still there. It's just
Yeah.
people, I don't think people are really willing to pony up to pay for that.
Is it exhaustion? We talked about that
Yeah, I
first
think
round.
fatigue
Yeah.
is a thing.
Fatigue,
Yeah.
like people are just like,
Also, how many releases have been super hyped up and then you try it and it's like kind of falls
here's
flat?
my thing too. I say this all the time. I've said it with every job I have. I say it with all whiskey or beer or rums or tequilas I've been into. If it's all important, nothing is important. Everything can't be important. You have to find that one thing like every so often. If you're like, this is the latest and greatest, you just overshadowed what you just previously put out, which devalues what you did.
yeah.
And I think that's kind of what's happening right now. Like Matt said, it might have just been me, you, and Mark, when you said there's nothing exciting happening right now.
Because Stacey's too important to be here.
Well, yeah, she had to do things like work.
Yeah.
But Matt said, you know, like he asked, he's like, what exciting releases have come out? And you and I couldn't say anything.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
for real. I mean, like name
agree.
one besides BT putting out allocated products in their gift shop. What is one allocated or limited release that's come out lately that we can be like, oh my god?
Have to have it.
Besides Old Fitz
The King
VBS
of
last year.
Kentucky was a big score. I was thrilled to get that, but that wasn't. I mean, that was a random one-off that just
still,
happened.
yeah,
so,
but still, like last year, into summer, fall.
I mean, yeah,
you know.
there's not been much of anything that's been like, oh,
But
I gotta be there. I gotta
this
wait in line
year
for 36
and
hours.
3 months. Yeah, what has come out that's been like, oh my god, nothing. What
Yeah.
came out in November, December? Nothing.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're almost at the end. Let's jump back to the whiskey. Speaking of wonderful, delicious bourbons, Matt, what do you pick up on the palate and finish on this one?
I think echoing with the nose, a lot of really good Elijah Craig barrel proof notes. There's the oak, that peanut brittle comes across, but this one is softer. I get a lot more mint, a lot more rye influence.
Yeah.
This actually drinks, I think, very rye forward. It's very minty, a lot of spearmint, a lot of herbal notes on this, which I'm really surprised to pick up. Not something I commonly taste on Elijah Craig barrel proof. This reminds me very much of actually a rye whiskey from Nashville Barrel Company, their duet of ryes.
Oh, the 4 and 7 year blend.
The one after that.
Either way, I know you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's. I've got a bottle at home, but
I can see the label. Yeah.
it's really herbal, really mint, kind of like dill forward, and of course this Elijah Craig is not that far, but the rye notes that I pick up are kind of similar to that. Like there was a pin hook, I think it's like Tis Rye Time or something that was really like herbal, really grassy, really like rye forward, and the rye notes I pick up in this are much like that. And then they kind of fleet away to the darker bourbon, the barrel notes, those cherries, oak leather tobacco come through. But I think the younger age, the lighter proof on this one really shines a lot of the characteristics that we don't see in the Elijah Craig barrel proof. And at least for my palate, I think this is a huge success.
Huh.
This is one I will actually purchase.
Yeah.
I will try to find.
First of all, let me just go back to the nosing when you guys were like, oh my God, is she okay? I was asking Matt what he thought, if it matched up with like the 15-year Heaven Hill notes that you were referring to, but that's okay. I will second what Matt said. Do get a lot of rye influence on this one, a little bit of dill, and for people that are listening, like, ew, dill, ew, to the herbal, like it's very subtle in the front, and then it opens up to more of like the quintessential bourbon notes in it. But I think that this is probably my favorite Elijah Craig batch
Wow.
that I've had personally. I really, really like this one a lot.
Chad?
Yeah, I'm gonna just like jump in with what Stacey was saying with that herbal note on the dill, and where people might say like, "Ooh, that's gross." I think the rye on this, rather than that big, bold, spicy rye, is more herbal, vegetal on this one, rather than big and bold. But like Stacey said, those are just like the characteristics of one like little piece of the palate.
And it transitions well. It's not like it's super dill, super herbal, and then it goes to something else. It's just like soft, and it fades.
It's not like a
into
reverse pickleback where you're doing a shot of pickle juice and then drinking bourbon.
I don't want people to get turned off by us saying like dill and herbal notes, but I think it's really good.
Chad?
No, I agree. It does have like a nice herbal, like vegetal is kind of what's come to mind for me. Like on the palate, it's a little bit like, Blanco tequila-esque. So you're getting like a little bit of this like grassy, grainy thing, but in a good way. It's like these low floor to mid floor barrels. Like it kind of has this Deatsville vibe to it. Where you're getting a little more of the grain, but also the age is showing through. Because people chase Deatsville, and for me, Deatsville is always like this little. Yes, it might drink 10, 12, 15 years old for a pick, but it's still a little grainy, but in a really good way. It's like a well refined grain.
Yeah.
Tons of like dark brown sugar and leather. Vanilla, like the palate's a little more mild for me than the nose, but like Stacey said, to me, this is one of my favorite ECBPs I've had. I think it stacks up for C923. I think it really goes up with that 13-year and that 130-something proof.
Nice.
I think it's a great showcasing of a really good bourbon. And what I wish, the nerd in me wishes that, Heaven Hill would be like we used, kind of like what Ben Holiday does and Knob Creek does, like when you do single.
Tell you like exactly
where it came from in the warehouses or what warehouses.
Yeah.
Like I'd love to know, like, hey, this, or like Booker's, hey, this was this,
right, yeah,
from this warehouse or this,
yeah.
because like I'd love to know how it's affected, because it's one of the most unique batches of ECBP in the most recent like 5 years.
Yeah,
I think it's really good.
Yeah, it'd be nice to know that like what age percentage is in there. It says 10 years, 7 months, but
that's the youngest,
like
right? Yeah.
Is,
So
is that a large portion of that? And there's only
I
like
feel like it's got to be mostly older stuff.
I'm thinking
to me,
it
it drinks like there's some more like 15, 16 year
some
low
older
floor.
low floor. Some
Yes.
some old,
which
like
is where that vegetal,
musty,
a little bit of those funky,
some
dusty,
moldy barrels down there, and then like maybe some of the heat's coming from some
from
younger
the upper
stuff
barrels.
up top.
Yeah, I can see that.
I feel like they blended like some like the 10-year, 11-year. Higher floor barrels with these like 15, 16-year low. That's not fact. I don't know if it's fact at all. It's my assumption, but it's usually those low floor funky barrels is where you're getting like that. Like you said, those moldy, musty, earthy notes. And I don't know. I love it. I think it's super unique, and I think it's great.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I can't really add much to those notes. Obviously, you guys covered everything. I really like this one. Yeah, is it my favorite? I'm not going to go that far. Man, somebody's got some static on your phones, folks.
Probably me.
I'm not gonna say it's my favorite, but yeah, it is really good.
What is your favorite?
That's a good question. I don't know.
You.
Like this,
This is the first one
one
he's
of
ever
these
had,
episodes, we're going to lay out all of Mark's Elijah Craig barrel proofs, and we're all going to sit here and watch him taste every single one.
Was it the C? Was that the C923? That was the 13.
Yeah.
Yeah,
13
that
year,
one.
10
That
month.
one was really good. I really liked that one. But then, I think it was like, was it C919? Maybe 18 or 19. I can't remember off the top of my head, but there was one that was years ago. That, of course, years ago now. Sounds like forever, 2019. But it was really, really, really good. And I think I've got still some of it left, or another bottle
That
tucked away.
doesn't sound like you at all.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I got to find it. I look over there because I have like the entire row of just a few bottles.
He
Yeah.
really doesn't. There's only one sitting over there, everybody.
Oh, guys. All right. So, we're at the end of the show, guys. Goodness
We're done.
gracious. Yeah, that's crazy.
He's like, thank God.
I know,
Yeah.
Chad, we're
Get
going
the
to get you
hell
out of
outta
here
here.
before 9 o'clock, man. That's awesome. Any final thoughts?
Larceny barrel proof.
You do what you want to do,
Final
man.
thoughts. Hats off to everybody. I thought that, the Frey Ranch pour was great. The Maker's Mark was something different that I haven't had from them really before. And Elijah Craig, you hit the ball out of the park with this one.
Nice. Matt, actually, Chad, what about you, man?
I'm curious to see between the conversations of contract distilling and shuttering and all that stuff, like distillery layoffs, new distilleries, and secondary market, like where people think we will be in the next 10 years. I think the next episode we should kind of do our predictions. We did our predictions for this year, and I've been right on two of them. not bragging or anything, but I think we should do it like, where people think the market will be like 1, 3, 5, and 10 years. Because if you'd asked me in 2020 where we'd be in 2025, this wouldn't be it.
Yeah.
But
right.
I think a lot of people were, like I said, the Invest Bros and that kind of stuff, making it on Facebook and crypto and all that kind of shit. But it's fun and good conversations. But I'd like to see kind of how some of the stuff we talked about tonight plays out.
Yep. Matt, what about you, man? Final thoughts?
Thanks for sitting down with us, everybody. To our listeners, morning, noon, or night, whenever it is, you're getting your Bourbon Life fix. Feels good to say that again, Mark. It's been so long.
I know, man.
It was
I'm
me
sorry.
last time.
Yeah. Thank you all
right,
for sticking with us. I know we've had a few weeks of absence here, so hopefully that won't be
welcome back, everybody.
won't be a
Yeah.
coming
Yeah.
trend for us. We're trying to do our best here, but life gets in the way. So thanks for sticking it out. Thanks for being patient with us. We will keep striving to bring you all of that great content in our casual format like we always do here on forward.
Well said, Matt. Yes, Mark's at fault for that. So
It's not you. Everybody's busy, man. It
Yeah.
just happens. Life happens.
But thank you guys. Thank you to all of our listeners for, like Matt said, hanging in there. I know we've recycled some shows. It's just been an adjustment, But yeah, I'm happy you guys were here. Thank you so much on short notice for coming over and hanging out. And thanks for just opening all these boxes so I can get this shit out of my house. I mean, this is great.
Thanks for committing felonies.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah.
Is it still a felony if you watched us do it and told us to do it?
I mean,
I told
Can
you
we get
guys
the
to do it.
lawyer to
Does
look
that
at
make it worse?
can we get tips on that? I mean, I'm sure it's a website somewhere.
Hold you guys to do that, right? So, but no, and we appreciate our sponsors.
that a mail pimp?
Thank you to all of our sponsors for everything they do for us.
Open the box and put the lotion on the skin.
I'm trying to wrap up the show here, guys.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Who it's from?
If you guys want to reach out to us, you can email us at thebourbonlife@gmail.com.
Come
you
open
can
my
also
mail.
find us on
What's this
Facebook.
shirt?
You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at The Bourbon Life. We have the private Facebook group, The Bourbon Lifers.
Come ride in my RV.
Don't forget our good friend Mike, Big Chief,
Wear the beanie and say you're Matt.
doing the whiskey trip. You can find him on Instagram and Facebook. His show comes out every Tuesday.
And
so
send him all your old tub.
send him all your old tub because he loves it so much. But with that said, I'm finally going to wrap this show up. Send us home with our tagline, which is, may your glasses always be full, and may you keep on living the bourbon life.
Keep the violin.
Thank you for joining us for this week's episode of the Bourbon Life Podcast. Our mission at the Bourbon Life is simple: to share our passion for all things bourbon with you every week. And we'd really love to hear your thoughts on how we're doing. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at The Bourbon Life. You can also contact us by email at thebourbonlife@gmail.com. And you can always find us on your favorite podcast platform. If you have a moment, we'd love it if you would rate us and give us a review. So until next week, we hope your glass is always full and that you keep on living the bourbon life.